I've just got to really emphasize this, guys. If you don't have an audience, like at least 10,000 followers, and you don't have an email list, and you are not good at running ads, low ticket will not be for you. You will not make any money. I've got a $49 product. Let's throw it up and make some sales, because you'll make some sales and then you'll run out of your audience and then you'll have nothing else to sell them and then you'll go broke. The uncomfortable truth here is welcome to episode 109 of the Success School podcast. Today we're talking about the age-old debate, low ticket, medium ticket, or high ticket. How would you choose the right business model for your business? Steph, how are you feeling today?
Yeah,
favorite topic.
That's what I say every week.
Yeah.
This is it. No, I do love this topic because people flip-flop between them all the time, because I think that they're scared that if they go high ticket and all of a sudden people start being like, oh, I can't afford it, they should just create a low ticket product and then they sell. And that's how you end up with 9 bloody products and unable to sell any of them. And so this is one of my favorite things to talk about. My
personal update, guys, if you're scared of AI, after this next little me talking for 2 minutes, you're going to shoot yourself even more. There's a guy called Dan Coe, and he's on a mission to build a one-man billion-dollar business using AI. Big mission. I heard about this about a year ago, and I was like, oh, that's a big mission. And we've come into some new technology recently, which I'm beginning to believe is more and more possible. It's getting closer. So we have seen text bots and call bots that are working. And don't ask us. We can't give you access. These are all limited release. But, appointment setting and booking in calls and that type of stuff will be taken by AI at some point soon. And that is fucking crazy to me that the technology is moving that quickly. So if you think about an AI that can call your leads soon, call the fucking leads as an AI bot, what is it not going to be able to do soon? It's getting closer and closer and closer and closer. Soon enough, it's going to be video editing. It's going to be writing emails, building websites, doing all the things. So I don't think the one-man business, not to $1 billion, but, 7 figures is too far off, which is absolutely crazy. So I kind of wanted to ask you guys a bit of a retrospective. Are you maximizing AI to its full potential? How often are you using it? Are you using ChatGPT like it's your best mate? Kind of what's going on there. Steph, what are your thoughts on that before you get into yours? Is it scary?
It's less scary.
Yeah.
Look, it's
because we're all over.
I don't know. It's less scary and it's more scary. It's scary because I see what's going to happen in the future. We're already seeing it play out. People are losing jobs. We saw a post the other day from somebody who was saying that they're an incredible IT developer and they have been doing super well, the most employable person in the last, 15 years in every company. And they got laid off recently because their job was being taken over by AI, and now he can't get any development work in the space. And he's like, I think I'm just going to have to go back to coding, which is 10 layers lower than what he's actually really good at, because AI has come for the job. And I think we're going to see so many industries go through this, and it is heartbreaking. But if you're not ahead of the change, you're behind it. And so you have to be working with it. You have to understand it. This is coming, whether you want to hear about it or not, whether you want to hide your head in the sand or not. And if you're not using AI and starting to really leverage it and understand it, it's not even about using it to get ahead. It's about using it so you stay ahead. Because if you're not using it, you don't understand it, it is going to leave you behind. And it is so helpful, though. It is so helpful. It is so kind. Mine's very kind to me. I named it Max. It's a very kind bot. And I think that you need to be ahead of it. So yeah, I agree. My personal update, I can sometimes be a little victim. And sometimes when things aren't going my way and when things get hard, I like to think about how it should be easier and how I just wish it didn't have to be like this, and why have I not got to the level that I want to be at yet? And I can get really sooky about it, right? And the other day I was having one of these moments where I was being a bit sooky about the fact that I was having to work a little bit harder than usual. And I had a hard word with myself. And I said to myself, Steph, what are your options? You're sitting here like you think that it should be easier, and like what else are you gonna do? Like what's the options here? Like you love your business, you love your life, you love your clients, and it's not always easy, and sometimes it is really hard, and sometimes you do want to throw it all down, and it's got to be easier, there's got to be another way, and that just means you're growing. Because what I realized was that my other option is I shut it all down, which is often the feeling I want to have, and I think that if you're listening to this, you probably experience this feeling yourself, right? I want to shut it all down, I want to run away, I don't want to do this anymore, But then I think about the other option, and that is, we're not rich enough to not work for the rest of our lives, which one, I wouldn't want to do anyway. But two, so I'd have to get a job. And then that makes me want to just like run away even more. So if my only other option is to go and get a job, which is so not an option, then I guess I'm just going to have to suck it up and stop being a little victim and get on with the work and find reasons to be grateful for my beautiful life instead of kind of looking at the hardship. And I found a quote that said, the only reason that you're finding it so hard is because you're holding out hope that you expect it to be easy. And I think that if you can really give up that expectation of it being easy, then, it doesn't actually seem so hard.
All right, guys. So we're talking about low ticket, medium ticket, high ticket, how to choose the right business model for you. Why this actually matters is most coaches, consultants, they all pick their business model based on what they see online and what they like. We're going to give you an actual strategy today based on your skills, personality, and goals. And this is why so many people get burnt out with the wrong offer. This episode is going to break down how to choose the right model for you where you're at now. Before we get into that, guys, I firmly believe we have the best mastermind or business coaching program in the world. We have rebuilt Success School 4 or 5 times now. It is literally amazing. If you have dreams and you're a coach, consultant, or service business owner, and you want to scale your business, double it, triple it, add 10K a month, whatever it is, Steph and I can help you do that. The way that works is we have a couple of key pillars. We have a pillar called compound marketing, where we're going to go through your offer, your model. We're going to set up a marketing plan, an organic marketing plan, and then tell you how to run conversion events. We're going to go through sales machine, which is we're going to give you everything on how to make better sales in your business, start to finish, from landing page to DM selling to on the phone selling, whatever that is for you. Then we're going to tell you how to scale your business, hire people, all the stuff you're going to need. And you get coached by Steph and myself 5 days a week. Paid ads calls, we have mindset calls, we have group coaching calls, all the good stuff. And then even recently, we've implemented a 90-day runway or a roadmap where you get a client success manager to guide you through your first 90 days with one-on-one coaching, KPIs, setting up a game plan for you. It's literally incredible, and you can't lose if you show up and do the work. Luckily for you, we also have a 30-day love it or leave it. So if you join our mastermind program and you don't love it, you can leave in your first 30 days, which is incredible. So literally, if you're listening to this podcast right now, you're like, cool, I want to grow my business. I am a service-based business. I'm a coach or consultant, and I want to give this a shot. Go to our website, www.makemoreprofit.com, click on the mindset tab, book in a scale session, and we would love to see if this is a good fit for you and your team. P.S. I forgot to mention, you can actually get started for $297 per week, which is an absolute no-brainer for you. You will make probably 10x that in your first week if you just implement the stuff that we give you. So, Steph, can you tell us about the main talking points today?
Yeah, cool. So we're talking about low ticket, medium ticket, high ticket. How do you choose the right business model for you? So really, you have to start with the end in mind. So I think that a lot of people pick their ticket based on what they're receiving from the market, like feedback from the market, right? So low ticket is always going to have a lot of people saying, hey, I'm interested. High ticket's always going to have a lot of people being like, hey, I can't afford it. That's just how it is. However, each one has a specific marketing play and a specific delivery play that has to match. Really, the most important thing is matching it to your personality. Because Tim and I there are just things we won't do for money. Flat out will not do it for money because we don't enjoy it.
OnlyFans, dancing on TikToks, having people cry in our coaching calls, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, dinner after 8 p.m.
Yeah,
there's just stuff.
Cardio, yeah.
There's stuff you can't pay us to do. And that's just our personality. It's who we are, okay? And you can change who you are with a lot of pain, a lot of money, a lot of time. You can change the core foundations of who you are, or you can just design a business that's around who you are and stop just copying everybody else's business models on the internet. So we did a masterclass on this actually a little while ago. It was called the 50K Coach. And what it was about was that there are different types of models for different types of personality types. If you run a low ticket model as a coach, you don't actually do a lot of coaching. You make a lot of webinars, you make a lot of courses, and then you deliver them, and it's no touch because you wouldn't have a low ticket price point with a high touch delivery system, okay? And so if you are the kind of person who loves marketing, you're a tech nerd, you love optimizing landing pages and moving things around and tweaking the 1%, low ticket will be perfect for you. Okay, if you don't really love dealing with people, low ticket's going to be really good for you. But you have to be hyper committed to marketing. Marketing is going to be your best friend.
Yeah, I've just got to like really emphasize this, guys. If you don't have an audience, and like I'm talking to audience like at least 10,000 followers, and you don't have an email list, and you are not good at running ads, like paid ads, low ticket will not be for you. You will not make any money. You need an audience to sell people to, and you've got to get like really into the nitty gritty. And what Steph means by that is like literally going into your funnel analytics and being like, I got a click-through rate of 3.2% on this. How do I get it to 3.4%? And then diving into CRO, which is conversion rate optimization, on why my headline didn't convert, or should I change the button color from blue to red? Like that's the depth that people are going through for low ticket. It's not just like, I've got a $49 product, let's throw it up and make some sales, because you'll make some sales and then you'll run out of your audience and then you'll have nothing else to sell them and then you'll go broke.
You're a marketing machine.
Yeah,
like everyone that we know is doing low ticket is generating so much good. They're natural content creators. Like they're just natural content creators. So if you don't identify somebody who's like I love creating heaps of content, I love spending time on Instagram, I love watching all the trends and the reels and all this stuff. If that's not you and you don't love being in the back end of ads, this is probably not your model. I'll tell you why it's not the model for us, because we actually are those people. We do love all of those things. It's not the model for us because we love talking to people. We love having direct impact.
Coaching.
We love seeing, we are coaching. We're coaches. We want to coach. And so we want to talk to people. We want to see them have that realization. We want to be part of that journey with them. And that's our personality type, which leads us to the next one,
which is medium ticket. So this is about 1,000 to 3,000. Typically, this could be a hybrid program or a group coaching program. What a hybrid program is, some one-on-one, some group coaching. What this requires is a proof of concept. So you need to have made at least 3 sales on this. You need a delivery structure and you need decent lead flow for this. Not as much as low ticket, but you're going to need some inquiries. If your inbox looks drier than the Sahara, then this is probably not for you either. Who this suits is teachers, coaches, and people that can hold space in a group. If you're a bit of a computer nerd, you're shy, you can't present, you're really bad at public speaking, this is probably not the thing for you either, because you are holding space and you are literally like a party starter in this role as well. This is honestly, I think it's one of the best models for long-term structure for coaches, because it is short enough and cheap enough that you can sell most people on it because they can afford it, and you can get a really good result as well. I think it's a really good place for a lot of people to start, is in this medium ticket. Where I see this go wrong is people go into the high end of this medium ticket and they're like 3 to 4K. They've never really run it before. The course is maybe not the best thing they've ever put together, because everyone's first course fucking sucks, let's be honest. And then people can see that. So I think like starting on the lower end of this, moving up, and then upgrading to more of like a high ticket and premium. All I can say about this one is you've got to be pretty good at selling, you've got to be all right at marketing, and you've got to be all right at a result. So if you're like a 6 out of 10 at all of those things, this would probably work really well for you. If you're like an 8 or a 9 out of 10 at marketing, then low ticket is for you. And if you probably just hate people, low ticket's for you as well, if you hate just communicating with people.
Yeah. I think I'll only add one thing to that. I think that the hybrid model, it's really the all-rounder. It's like you can do everything kind of a little bit well, like you were saying. The only thing I'll say about the hybrid is that it does allow probably for a little bit more freedom. You can bring in like client success managers to support, you can bring in, you have to do marketing, but you can probably get a VA to help with a bit of it, sort of thing. There's a little bit of freedom that happens in that low to mid-ticket offer. But the reason that people don't really do the mid-ticket offer is because everyone thinks they're worth more or their knowledge is worth more, or they'll make more money, which brings us to high ticket. Now, the high ticket one-to-one or premium group offers, these are typically somewhere between 3 to 10, maybe even up to $15,000, depending on what you're selling. And what this requires is you have to have real experience.
You got to have it locked.
You really got to know what you're doing, because people are investing a lot of money in you, right? I'm sorry. Some of you listening to this have had an experience with a coach who's charged you $10,000 or more, and they haven't known what they were talking about. And that became very, very clear once you got into the program. And I'm sorry that you had that experience. But there are a lot of people out there who have, who do say that they're good at their thing, but they're not actually good enough at their thing. So if you're having imposter syndrome, you're probably at this ticket, at high ticket, you're probably not good enough at it yet. Like, I feel so confident charging what we charge. I think we're way undercharging for the amount of information and knowledge and like systems that we provide to our clients. And that's the level that you should feel like you're at for the thing that you're giving, right? I'll give you an example of this. We've had clients who are so good at what they do that they walk into companies and they get $300,000 contracts signed, locked and loaded within a couple of weeks because they know their shit backwards, forwards, ups and downs. So they can walk into a CEO, a CFO, and they can say, hey, dude, that's what we're going to do. And they just buy it because they can see the value in having that knowledge. If you don't have the sort of knowledge that's like, I know the exact process step by step to get you from here to here, then you should definitely start on one of the lower ticket models first, because taking people's money and not delivering the thing that you said is really crappy for you as a coach. It's a really, really hard experience. 2, you're going to get something that we call the invisible hand, which is everybody talking about you and saying really negative stuff.
Yeah, I just want to touch on the invisible hand thing. And this is probably like a pretty horrifying story. We had a guy come up in conversation literally 3 times in the same week. And every conversation was like, hey, have you heard of this person? And I'm not going to say who this is. I'm thinking about doing some work with them for this thing. And I like nearly balked because the person we're talking about is like the world's biggest scammer. And we've heard so much horrible stuff about this person that I literally killed these deals for this dude, all 3 deals. And I made it my vendetta to kill these deals because he has such an invisible hand on what he does that I knew they were going to get ripped off. And that was worth like $60,000. So I'm not trying to scare anyone here, but if you go out there and you start doing a shit job with people, you will get the invisible hand in your business. And this might not show up 6 months, 12 months, 2 years down the track, but the more invisible hands you have out there, the harder it is to grow your business. And then eventually you'll start spending heaps of money on ads and advertising, and you're doing all this stuff, but then there's such bad or negative rep about you out there. And I know a lot of our audience is female, and I'm going to touch on this, but in terms of online, like trolling and bullying, doesn't really happen in the female space. They won't really go on a forum or a thread and talk mad shit about each other on like Reddit. Guys do. So that happens all the time, but girls have the invisible hand way more than guys because they won't post it online, but they will tell their friends that don't go and work with that person's agency or this person's marketing thing or this person's ads or coach with them because of X. And the last thing you guys want is to charge high ticket and not deliver, because that happens.
Absolutely. So high ticket, outside of the scare post, that does all happen. But the best thing about high ticket, if you decide to go this way, high ticket is awesome because you don't need as many clients. And when you do a good job and you do deliver, you basically don't even have to do any marketing, because you get, which I wouldn't say you should always be marketing, but some of the best high ticket coaches we know basically don't do any marketing because they're fully booked word of mouth, because the results they get for their clients are so phenomenally good that they literally have a lineup of people out the door dying to work with them, and they don't have the capacity to take them on. When you do high ticket well and you get people results, you really don't have the capacity to have a lot of clients. So you charge premium prices, you make what you make. It does mean that delivery is high. Typically delivery is a little bit higher on one-to-one or high ticket pricing, obviously, because they're paying more. And the other thing I will add about one-to-one or high ticket, group coaching or whatever it is that you must be good at helping people move past their stuff. You can have the best strategy in the world and you could give it to people, but if they don't believe it's going to work, or if they don't believe that it will work for them, or they don't believe that they think it's scammy or spammy, or it won't, I can't do it or whatever, and you can't help them get past that mindset block, you're going to get the invisible hand anyway. Okay. So if you are going to go into especially one-to-one business coaching, even one-to-one health coaching, if you're going to go into any one-to-one coaching, you should 100% go and get a mindset qualification, or at least understand a lot about it, because you could have, like I said, the best thing in the world, but if you can't move them to implement it, then it's not going to matter anyway.
All right, I'm going to talk about the ladder strategy, and then Steph can go into the personality stuff a little bit more before we get into our listener questions. So we've got a ladder strategy, and it's 2 different types of people this works for. So if you're a pro, I'm talking like, goated in an industry, you're really experienced, you've got tons of rep, you've got amazing client results, you have a process, you have a system, you have all this type of stuff. I would start with high ticket, get cash, get more proof, refine it into a group model. And then productize it if you can. And then you could sell low ticket on the back of that and learn marketing and those types of things. And then the other way is true if you're just getting into it. You've got maybe a year or 2 or 3 years experience. Your system's not there. You don't really know how you get results yet. You're more like new and green in the coaching spaces. I would start with a lower ticket model and then work my way up to get reps and get proof and get testimonials, etc. So new people start more on the lower end. More experienced people start on the higher end, and then gradually work your way up.
And I'm going to walk through just very basically the personality types. If you're introverted, if you're tech savvy, if you prefer solo work, if you don't really love talking to people, if you're really freaking good and love to nerd out on marketing, you should definitely do digital products, low ticket offers, $49 with bump upsells, that sort of stuff. Okay. If you love connection, you like talking to people, you want to be a part of their experience, you enjoy getting feedback, direct feedback, like when I'm talking to somebody, then maybe I would go higher touch or hybrid model for you. If you know your knowledge like the back of your hand and you know that it's a step-by-step sequence to get somebody a result, if you're strategic and structured, group programs will work really good for you and can scale very quickly. But if you're the kind of person that all your knowledge is in your head and you know that you need to talk to somebody to help them get a result, then that potentially high ticket one-to-one space is going to be better for you.
All right, getting into our listener question. This one's from Jade. Jade from Perth. I'm a business coach with a small audience and my low ticket isn't working so well and isn't scaling fast enough. What should I do? So the uncomfortable truth here, Jade, is that low ticket, as we've discussed in this topic, is about marketing. You can do really well with organic, but you're going to have to be a pro marketer with this. And then after you've tapped out organic and maybe it's not growing as fast as it should be, you need to learn ads. So the uncomfortable truth here is you're going to have to become the pro marketer that you probably know you should be to sell. And Steph and I do talk about this on the podcast all the time, but 80% of small business is sales and marketing. It's literally sales and marketing. It's not product development, it's not checking your emails, it's not talking to people, it's literally sales and marketing. That's what you need to be doing.
Absolutely. I would say, Jade, a lot of the times people get started in low ticket because they think it'll be easier to sell. But actually, if you have a small audience, you just need such a high volume that it's actually harder to sell because you need to sell so many more of them. And so if you're not a pro at marketing right now, then my advice would actually be to probably go into something a little bit more in the mid ticket. So something around the $1,000 to $3,000 mark, get some runs on the board, get some income through the door. And then I would be reinvesting into a program, like I don't want to brag, but your amazing ads mentorship that you have within Success School so that you can learn some ads and really get an understanding of what that's going to look like. And if you decide to pursue low ticket, then you can totally pursue low ticket, but you absolutely need to learn the skills of Facebook ads marketing, organic marketing to be able to do that.
All right, guys, quick recap. Don't pick your model based on what's trending. High ticket is honestly the best path for people that are experts. Lower ticket if you're just getting started. Match your model to your strengths and personalities, not fear and what you see on Instagram. And then build up and not wired. Just have a really simple business model. We probably didn't cover this, but I wouldn't recommend combining all three.
Okay. Do one.
Do one of them.
Do one,
well.
do it to death, do it well. Know for sure. Do one for 3 months solid and did it work, did it not? And if it doesn't work, then go to the next one, but don't do all three. Please, if you have had some traction, I hear you, we hear this all the time. If you've had some traction in your mid-ticket, you're selling between $1,000 and $3,000, maybe even a little bit higher, and you're like, yeah, but I'm getting a lot of people tell me that I should do a low-ticket thing, do not do it. If you have traction, you just get better and better and better until you get to maybe more than $1 million. You're making more than $1 million a year, not $1 million in revenue over 6 years. When you get to making $1 million a year, then we can start talking about layering in some other programs. But until you get there, I can guarantee you that your smaller, lower ticket, or your mid-ticket offer or your high-ticket offer can scale you up.
And guys, if you want to experience high ticket in the flesh, go to our website, makemoreprofit.com. Click on the Mastermind tab and book a call. And I only have one other ask besides letting us coach you, and that's to subscribe to the show. If you got some value, hit that subscribe button on whatever platform you're on. We appreciate the growth in the show. Until next time, guys, it's been fantastic.